Hey everybody. I feel like getting a message from universe for us today. Let's start with the Shaman Stream Oracle. Shift you down a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to go with the new one. Notes from a Universe on Love and Connection. And I did a flip through, a Hang Out With Me flip through for this one. So you can check that out too if you want to. And also Tarot of Mystical Moments. So, ooh, there's a strong energy coming through from this one. So, very excited to find out what's going to come through. What is universe going to say to us today? This time. What kind of universal types of things are you guys pondering these days? Let's see. What questions do you have? Let's get a message from universe for all of us, the collective. Okay. You're saying 2 cards. Adaptability. Is there a lot of change going on in your life that maybe you're being asked to adapt to? Meditation and stillness. Oh, they go very perfectly well together. All right. Let's get a message from notes from the universe. The first card that I was looking at just now when I pulled the deck out of the notes from the universe box is You've Got Time. I believe that's a message for some of us. That if there's a rush of some sort, or you're feeling some kind of anxiety about just needing to, like maybe being overwhelmed and not feeling like you have enough time to get the stuff that you want done, there's an energy there on that first card that was just on top of the deck. It says You've Got Time. So let's see if that actually comes out for us when I pull it, when I draw from the deck. Okay. You're being watched by loving eyes. Okay, the back of this says, what if you're actually an ancient gladiator of love and joy who agreed to visit Earth during these primitive years to spark some new thinking? Share a few smiles and help others discover they too are awesome. Just saying, the universe. P.S. Up for a joust, of course, with rubber thingies. I feel like the message in front, this is the universe that's watching you. This is your spirit that's watching you. Like the non-physical realm is watching Earth with loving eyes. So no matter what's happening in like your life personally or on Earth, in general, as a collective of humans and beings and other consciousnesses, you can call it God, you can call it universe, you can just call it, source energy, right, is watching all of us with loving eyes. That I kind of feel like there's this overall message to everybody on Earth, human and other creatures, right, that we're all, there's this message, these words, you're not doing anything wrong. Yeah. That's the message that's coming through. From Source's point of view, everybody is loved. We're being watched. We are all being watched by loving eyes. So, I mean, each of us then on Earth might have differences with each other, like individually or even group to group, right? But as a whole, when if you want to call it God, right? When God is watching us all here on Earth, the message that I'm getting is that you're not doing anything wrong and we love you. Like everybody is loved. Everybody is loved. Okay? All right. So let's see what's going to come out of Tarot of Mystical Moments. And it's kind of like if you're able to kind of step back and pull back and look from universe's point of view, the earthly things seem kind of small, right? If you look from a universe point of view, the earth things can seem small. And then if you kind of narrow it down and boil it down even more and say humans, like human things seem small in the sense that, whatever each of us might find troubling, either in our individual lives or, even if from our human point of view, looking at the world, that might look big, right? But, oh, this just came out. King of Swords. That when there's an energy of perfection that I'm getting from this. Just like a pinpoint clarity. But I'm getting the word perfection. That, what was I saying? Oh yeah, from the human point of view, looking at Earth, looking at the world, it's going from kind of individual to looking at the group, the collective. Then that feels kind of bigger. But then if you look from the universe's point of view, narrowing down onto the individual, then it kind of feels like you're getting more specific, right? And I'm not saying small as in like it doesn't mean anything, but just kind of like the feeling that I'm getting is whatever you're doing day to day, whatever is happening in your personal life right now, if you're feeling troubled by it in any way, that if you look from the universe's point of view or look from God's point of view or source energy's point of view, that whatever trouble you're experiencing seems small in comparison to the vastness of the universe and the love that's coming through from the universe. I mean, there's so much more love in the universe than there is trouble on little Earth. Does that make sense? So, I mean, it's not really like so much that universe is minimalizing any troubles that you might be going through, but what they're saying is like when you can look from their point of view and see yourself with loving eyes or see humans with loving eyes, then whatever troubles that may be happening like on an earthly level, it's really minimal in comparison to the big love that exists in the universe. Okay? So I'm getting perfection from this. They're saying 2 more cards from the tarot deck. This one just popped out when I was shuffling just now. So I took it. Okay. Eight of Cups. The Chariot. So I'm getting a very similar energy from the adaptability, meditation, and stillness, the quiet, and the Eight of Cups. There's this kind of peacefulness and calmness. And even, even from this one where we're looking from the universe's point of view back onto us, right? There's this kind of perfection about the way everything is. So whether you're looking from the more specific individual lives that each of us is living, or like, looking at Earth as a whole, right? The world as a whole, or even the universe as a whole, that there's like a peaceful calmness, a perfection to everything the way it is. And and with the adaptability, it's like it's morphing, it's transforming, it's growing. Kind of like if you look at cycles of things, right? Of like ups and downs, or like just cycles of the seasons, moving from one season to the next season to the next season, and it always comes back, right? So if you look at if you think of the cycles of, say, the universe, there's this like revolution and there's this evolution that's going on, where if something is going one way, I guess the perfect example would be, say, like the tides, right? Or the lunar cycle, even affecting the tides. And it's like the tides come in and they go out, and they come in and they go out. And it's kind of like same thing with the moon cycle, where it's like the moon goes from new moon to full moon back to new moon. And it's always this kind of cyclical thing that's going on. So, and if you look at it from that bigger point of view, whichever point of the cycle that you're in, it's always going to cycle back to wholeness, right? So if you're cycling through a part of your life, or you're experiencing something, or you're observing something that's going through something that's like kind of emptying out, going through a void of some sort, right? That in that phase, and let's call it, like, if you're familiar with like Abraham-Hicks terms and stuff like that, there's there are these three steps to creation, where step one is asking, step two is that the universe fulfills it, the universe becomes it, and then step three is you the individual allowing that manifestation to come in, like whatever it is that you just asked for, right? And so in that, going back to that metaphor about the void, right? Like you're going through a cycle of the void, where you're empty and you're asking. So empty equals asking, in what I'm trying to draw the connection with right now, with the three steps process. As you're asking, your spirit, the universe, the non-physical realm becomes the thing that you're asking for. So vibrationally, it already exists, right? And so in order for you, the conscious human being, the physical being, to experience it in your physical life, you have to allow it in. So I feel like this is talking about, if you look at the full cycle of creation, that if you're in a place where you're without the thing that you're asking for, and you're asking for it, that's only one part of the cycle. Eventually you're going to get to the part where you're allowing it in, right? And then you'll receive the thing that you're asking for, and that completes the cycle. So there's like a perfection to that creation, right? And so it's kind of like saying, wherever you're at, remember that other card that we were talking about? Let's see if I could find it. The one that said, you got time. So even if you're at the cycle, at the part of the cycle where you're empty and you're not seeing your manifestation yet, but if you step back and know that it's part of the cycle to be in the asking phase, to be in the void space, that eventually that void is going to be filled and your cycle is going to be complete. The full moon is going to come, right? If you know that, then there's nothing to worry about, and there's a perfection to the process. And the adaptability, I feel like it's talking about adapting to each part of the cycle that you're in, knowing that, okay, this is part of the cycle, and kind of like, people say like, this too shall pass, that kind of a thing, right? Where wherever you're at, it's going to move to the next thing, and it's gonna cycle through to each part of the wheel, each part of the seasons, right? Each part of the fulfilling of the asking, and then the manifestation of it. And when you look at it that way, then no matter where you are in that process, it's all good. Everything is all good. And that's why that's why, like, universe can see all of it, no matter what is going on. You can see all of it with loving eyes. And if you can see from your spirit's point of view and see everything with loving eyes, then you can love every part of the cycle, right? Let me see if I can find that card so you can just have it as part of the spread. Of course, it's probably going to be the last one from the deck. Here it is. There. You've got time. So I'm kind of in these two cards, the Eight of Cups and the Chariot. I feel like both of them talk about movement, right? This one talks about like stepping away from something, and this one talks about moving forward. So in a way, these two are like opposite direction cards, right? Movement in opposite directions. But if we were to apply this to what we were just talking about the cycles, about coming in and going out, coming in and going out, then that makes perfect sense. Because it's like when you walk away from something, then you're also walking towards something else. And so, and then, oh, I love that this also has the wheel in it. And then also in this particular deck, that the Chariot, which usually talks about fast movement, is actually showing up as a snail, right? A snail on wheels. So it's kind of like pulling back to look at everything from that larger picture, that the speed of something, like I watch a lot of like vampire things, vampire stories, read a lot of vampire stories, and watch a lot of vampire shows and stuff like that. When you look at life or look at time from a vampire's point of view, and a vampire is immortal, right? That what appears to be very immediate and very urgent for humans, if you look from a vampire's point of view, vampires got all the time in the world. You've got time, right? That when you look at it from that kind of immortal, eternal point of view, there's no rush to anything. And so when you stretch it out and you step back and you look at everything from that point of view, something that you may be walking away from right now, or that maybe that kind of emptying of the tide, or the emptying of the moon, or the emptying of the void, the asking part of it, the asking step one of the process of manifestation. If you can look at it from the vampire point of view, or from the eternal universe, God point of view, that eventually the tide's going to come back in. Eventually the moon is going to fill back up to full moon. Eventually that thing that you've asked for will manifest and come. It's like that's just like an energy of perfection to the whole creation process. There's an energy of perfection to the whole cycle of everything that's happening, to the creation of looking more specifically and uniquely at what you're creating in your own life. Like if we're talking about a relationship, if we're talking about a specific thing that you're trying to manifest, right? That you can look at it on a small scale like that, or you can look at like you as a creator of not just a creator of things, but like the creation of your whole life, like you as a human being. That's a creation, right? You as a spirit creating your human life, that's a creation. And then you as a creator, as a spirit being, as a non-physical spirit, creating your existence as a spirit, right? I mean, you can pull back and go bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just realize that, wow, you're an eternal being. You've got all the time in eternity, and then also just the perfection of all of that, the small human ups and downs, and then looking back, and then all the ups and downs, like no matter where you are in each part of it, there's a perfection to it. Because when you look at it from that bigger point of view, then you see like, oh, the thing that goes up comes down, goes up and comes down, and then there's a, I keep going back to the perfection of it because that's what they're saying. And then it's really just about you from that human point of view, like adapting to wherever you are, wherever you are in each part of the cycle. This is a really, really deep message. Yeah. So the last thing that they want to say is that to kind of understand this message on a deeper level, and to really not even just understand the words that are being used to describe the message, but to understand it on an emotional level and understand it on a vibrational level. They're saying to go into meditation, perhaps like right after you watch this video, go into like a 15-20 minute meditation, and just allow yourself to receive what more your spirit like specifically wants to say to you, the individual, right? Because I'm speaking to a group right now, a collective right now, whoever's watching, and then like you yourself to receive a more specific message for you. Universe is asking you to go into meditation and just be quiet and just allow your spirit to talk to you and speak more on the perfection of your life, right? Okay. All right. And then they want to say they love you. Okay? You're loved. You're loved and you've got time. All right, everybody. What a perfect message. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.